Okay, so I'm Kina and I'm a tattoo artist. Well, I didn't know I could draw my whole life until I was about 15 or 16. And it was the year before I fell pregnant with my daughter, so I didn't think it was a career that I could really get into. But my whole life I didn't draw. And then I just remember one day I was getting into trouble with my mum and I got sent upstairs. And I remember just studying somebody's face. I think it was Tupac. And I just started noticing like the little shadows and just little things. And I just picked up a pencil and started drawing it. And I thought, oh, this is good. But I'd never told no one about it. So I remember I'd taken the piece of paper that I had the drawing, took it to school, started showing my friends. And then I just remember everyone was amazed. So I remember telling my child development teacher, and we had to write a book, we had to draw a book, children's book. And she told me I was creative in it. So I went home that day and I was like, Mom and Dad, guess what? I'm creative. And they were like, creative gonna get you? Because who does that? No one does art as a career. So that's what I really did think. And because I fell pregnant the year after, that was not the first thing that I was about to pick up and start getting into art. So I knew I had the ability, I just never thought it was an opportunity, a career opportunity, I think. I went into college and I did graphic design, so I guess that kind of goes into it, but I never draw. I thought it would be something creative to get into, but I never picked it. I was never passionate about it anyway. It was only 4 years ago where I started realising, where I started seeing other people's reactions to my work, and I realised that I was good, and I like to see it as well. I like to see other people's reactions because it motivates you, doesn't it? And I think there was one thing that Erica Badu said, and she says, when you make art, what did she say now? She says, when you make art, it's for other people to talk about it. And that kind of, I gravitated towards that. So when I make art, I have the intention that someone's going to be inspired and someone's going to look at it and want to do it themselves. So I remember I was always good at it, and my friend from school, she always said, why don't you just draw pictures and put it up on Instagram? And I was like, nah, because I wasn't really a social media person, didn't like it, just wasn't good at any of it, anything technical. So she just says, okay, well, what I'll do is I'll open up your Instagram account. You just WhatsApp me videos and pictures. So I was like, all right then, cool. So I used to do that. I used to draw pictures and I used to send it to her. And she opened up my Instagram account and she says, Keen, like, look at your DMs. So I was like, oh, this is all right. I can do something with it. So I watched it for about 8 months. I was working in retail. So I watched it for 8 months and I thought to myself, I can make money off of this. So then eventually I quit my job. But obviously, you know, when you got a house to run and kids, it's like, you can't be dumb about these things. You can't just quit your job and start drawing for a living. That's why I had to watch it for 8 months. When I draw, I never think to myself, this is going to be amazing, this is going to be sick. I just draw because I love doing it. And then it's when I finish it, I look back and I think, like, that's good. And like sometimes it surprises me because I don't believe that I did it sometimes. Sometimes I feel like I'm looking at it from somebody else's point of view. Like I didn't just sit there and work on it for hours. That's a creative process, isn't it? You know, when you look back at your work and you think, like, it's amazing. Because I started painting. I remember for my boyfriend, it was his birthday, or I wanted to give him a gift, but I wanted to give him something that no one else can't get. So I'm a creative, I'm an artist, so I thought, what's the best thing that you can do? So I started making little things for him, trainers, and just like diamond portraits and little things like that. And when I started doing it, I realised that I was good at it. I still probably wouldn't. Yeah, I did sell them for a bit. The trainers I sold for a bit, but the diamond portraits, it was just like something that I did out of love because it was a gift. But there's nothing that I can't do. By then, I was doing tattoos as well, and the money that you make in tattoos per hour, because you can make up to £200 an hour. Here, about £80 in Birmingham per hour. But then I was making the hours that you're putting in to a trainer or a drawing, for instance. It doesn't make no sense. I might as well just do tattoos. So then the trainers I was doing because I just love doing it. I was just, because if somebody asked me to do it, I would just do it. When did I get into it? During the pandemic. No, it was literally, I think it was the month before we went into lockdown. So it was January. It was January and we went into lockdown in February. And it was Jay who owned this Inside Hatman in Black Diamonds. He found me on Instagram and he hit me up and he sent me a DM and he says, how do you feel about tattooing? And at the time I was broke, didn't have no money. And he just helped me out and he says, okay, cool, anything that you need, come and take it from my shop, I'll train you up for free. The only condition is that you stay with me for a year. I'm still here, so it's good. It's been like 2 years now. Yeah, and he taught me everything I know. Because when you know contrast and when you know where to put a shading or where it needs to be darker, there's nothing you can't do. And I already knew there was nothing that I was limitless in that sense, because I can do anything. I can make, like my daughter, she had a school project and we had to make something out of macaroni cheese, like pasta. And like we started making faces out of it, and I'm thinking, you can make it out of pasta, you can make it out of diamonds, you can make it out of glass, you can use paint, tattoos, ink, anything. There's nothing that I can't do. If I'm doing like a diamond piece, I'd spread out the diamonds because I know we'll use black paper as well. So it just looks better, but then where it needs to be brighter, we'll add more diamonds because it will bling. So say if it's like here and you got T's on where it needs to highlight and it needs to bling, we'll gather it there. So I just know these things. Okay, so I've never had a plan ever. So I literally don't plan nothing in my life. I know where I want to go with it, and I think now I'm at an age where I'm at a stage in my career where I know I can see where it's heading. But before, I never had a plan. I never planned anything. Who would have thought I would have been a tattoo artist even? I hope to move to London actually, because I don't want to stay in Birmingham, because that's not really where the money's at, I think. So if you're going to get involved in the creative industry, just start the thing. Whether it's, like I said, it's like that feeling of looking at a blank paper. Just start it, because you don't know where it's going to take you.